8.2, Quadratic Formula Lesson 2. I just want to take time to show you an example. I'm going to have you do and work a few word problems. So I'm going to show you one type of word problem and then tell you what problems I'd like you to do to continue to work with the quadratic formula. So one of the types of word problems you're going to see is something like that, looks like this. Given the diagram below, approximate to the nearest foot how many feet of walking distance a person saves by cutting across the lawn instead of walking on the sidewalk. So this is, kind of a made up word problem, but we can deal with this and we can apply the Pythagorean theorem to this problem because we have a right triangle here. So you have leg with x, another leg with x plus 2, and the hypotenuse is 20. So when I want to set this equation up, I will then set it up this way. I will say that x squared, because that's a leg, I'm going to the a squared plus b squared equals c squared, plus, parenthesis, x plus 2 squared equals c squared, which is 20, my hypotenuse, 20 squared. And I'll set this up this way. And once I set it up, I'm now going to try and simplify things and get everything set equal to 0. So I want to work first of all with this x plus 2 squared. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to remember that x plus 2 squared tells us to do this. And it's x plus 2 times x plus 2. And x plus 2 times x plus 2, that will create a perfect square trinomial. So let's multiply this over here and find out what we can get. So I'm going to just first of all copy down the original x squared that I have. And so now I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to do x squared. So x times x gives me another x squared. Then I'm going to take x times 2, so that's plus 2x. And then I'm going to take another 2 times an x, plus 2x. And then 2 times 2, and that's plus 4. And that's going to equal 20 squared. And 20 squared, 20 times 20, happens to be 400. So now what do I do? Well, I'm going to combine my like terms. So let's combine like terms. I have 2x squared. And then I have a plus 4x. And then I have plus 4. That equals 400. Whoops. Sloppy. Let's make that a little neater. 400. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to subtract 400 from both sides, and I'm going to now write 2x squared. Whoa, I have a typo up there, don't I? I missed that. This should actually be a squared here, shouldn't it? So I have 2x squared here. Plus 4x plus 4 equals 400, and now I'm subtracting. I'm going to do plus 4x. And when I subtract 400 from both sides, it's a minus 396 equals 0. Next step. What do I do now? Well, at this point, let's take a look. Since I now have, and this should have a squared on it, so 2x squared plus 4x minus 396 equals 0. Okay, maybe I should, at this point, we could try to complete the square, or we can do the quadratic formula, or we could try to factor. Well, I'm going to actually do a little factoring first. All of these terms have a common factor of 2, so I'm going to take out that 2. And I'm going to write this as x squared plus 2x. And then 396 divided by 2 is going to be a negative minus 198. I did that in my head. I'm pretty sure that's correct. 198 times 2 will be 693. Yep. Now, at this point, are there factors of negative 198 that go to positive 2? I could try to do that. But at this here, I'm now going to use the quadratic formula. Since the 2 is on the outside of the parentheses, I will just leave that out there. I will not use that. That is not a. A happens to be in here next to x squared. The number there is 1. So now that I'm going to the quadratic formula, I will say that x equals the opposite of b, so negative 2, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 2 squared, minus 4 times 1 times c, which is a negative 198. All over 2 times 1. Now at this point, I'm not going to go any further with the calculations. We'll keep this video short. You could continue to work this out and deal with this from here because you worked this out in lesson 1. I'm going to stop the video here and just tell you what I would like for you to do. These problems from page 496. And I would like you to do numbers 25, 31, 33, 37, 45, 50, 51, whoops, 51, 55, 57, 61, 93, and 95. So if you do those problems, please again notice they're all odd numbers, so you can check your answers right away and get your feedback and see how you're doing. Let me know what I can help you with on this assignment.